Yeah, man, we're back. Let's go. Another edition, another week, a lot of topics to cover. If it's your first time with us, let me just say welcome to the Opps SportsCast, sponsored by Opposition Radio. If it's your first time, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 followers here, and that way you get the notifications whenever we go live. We got a crazy show, a lot of things just dropping too. We got some breaking news. Shador Sanders, getting pulled over. We'll get into a bunch of different things regarding the Rafael Devers trade. Desmond Bain, that happened since the last time we did the podcast. He was traded from the Memphis Grizzlies over to the Orlando Magic. And, crazy trade situation. We'll give you all the details to that. And then we're also going to be talking about a lot of things happening. Shohei Ohtani making his first pitching performance. And so we got a lot to cover. And of course, we're going to jump into the NBA a little bit as the finals are going on right now. But hey, I got the fellas. We got the whole crew with us today. Let me hear it, fellas. How you feeling out there, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Doing
I'm good,
good.
man.
Doing good. Let them know
Good,
who
sir.
you are. Let me start it off with Dave.
It's your boy Dave in the cut.
I'm Josh from East Side.
It's your boy Big Z.
Absolutely in the building. It's your boy Chris Peasy. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. We got a lot. We got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and jump into our first topic, and we won't keep them waiting. Um, man, that breaking news though with Shador is crazy, bro.
It
My man
is.
is finally getting some good pub about maybe being the projected starting quarterback for the Browns, even after being drafted in the fifth round. And he's gonna do something like that. Everybody was clowning him. So,
Go ahead and talk about it real quick.
well, yeah.
Get it out the way.
Shador Sanders, we had that live NFL draft broadcast, and we were all anticipating him getting drafted in the first round, I would say. And then he just continued to drop and drop and drop. A lot of people say unfairly, but he's been balling in OTAs as far as I understand. And from all the reports, they're saying like he's climbing up in the depth charts, and he already leapfrogged past the quarterback they drafted ahead of him in the third round. So now, maybe people had questions about his character. I want to say that lightly because I think that was a big reason why he dropped. And then he goes out and does over 100 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone.
Goofy.
So that's the latest. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but you want to chime in on that. But that's what happened.
You
I'm
know,
saving for later for me.
gonna save it for later. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
say, man, it's just dumb, man. People rooting for you and pulling for you, man. And you just go and pull something like that. It's just stupid. Immaturity, man. You know, I think all the vlogging and stuff, he needs to really kind of step away from that and get that arrest. The whole, I'm not saying he should stop building his brand or whatever, man, but I think it's just time to kind of step away from all the flossing and the high glancing and all that stuff, man, and focus on ball. Leave all of the Bentleys and the Lambos and all of this stuff. Just we already know you got money. We already know you got a little brand and stuff like that. Just let it go, man. Don't be like everybody else. Don't be like these other clowns out here that putting the brand before, their legacy, as he likes to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and real talk, he got his money off of the strength of his dad's rep, really. He hasn't made like career earnings as far as like nothing in the NFL. That fifth round contract is not you ain't gonna be able to retire off that. You know what I mean? And so he's got a lot of building to do still. So he better get his act together. But I'm still pulling for him.
I hope he does, man. I hope he does. I feel like his pop's going to be in his ear about him, making this mistake.
Yeah.
So can't do it, man.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't driving a Camry when he got pulled over. So he was definitely he was testing some things out.
Yeah, he was.
But he's young. Let's be real. I was guilty of that when I was young. I had me a Mustang. I was going 100. But you know what I mean? Like, you're in that situation. You can't take those kind reckless chances.
No.
Yeah, he's had like you said, he's had all the fancy cars for a little bit of time now, probably since he could get behind the wheel. So
Right.
Right.
I should have been flushed out of his system by now, so he could focus on his true calling, I guess you could call it right now, and that's pro sports.
Correct.
It's a really good point, Josh. Absolutely. Okay. Are you able to throw the first topic up on the screen here for us?
Yes, sir. You guys are gonna go heavy on this. I'm gonna learn a little bit.
All right. So let's jump right into it. This has been making its rounds here. Rafael Devers, the Red Sox star third baseman, after months of drama, Rafi Devers was traded to the San Francisco Giants, actually after sweeping the Yankees this past weekend. Um, Tension between he and the Red Sox was due mostly to bad communications by both parties. And there's like online videos of, Red Sox fans feeling like they were getting pranked when the news dropped because they were celebrating sweeping the Yankees at their rival. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, we can't even get a moment to enjoy this. And all of a sudden he's off their team, their star player. So, guys, when the news dropped, I know Dave, your initial response was there like, well, the Red Sox, they got some talent back. I didn't see it, bro. It looked like a cash dump to me. But like, what are your thoughts now?
They got some talent back. It wasn't good talent. But so are we gonna vote? We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this or what?
I mean, we can. How do you want to vote?
So on this, I think I'm gonna go
Well,
communication on
we
both.
gotta say what we're voting on. Like, do you think the trade was heavily slant? Well, do you think the Red? How about we vote on? Do you think the Red Sox are punting the season?
I don't know, man. What about this? I'm thinking about the communication factor because that's. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, let's vote on what the statement says.
let's stick
Yeah,
with
Vote on
that.
the
tension
caption.
between he and the Sox.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Do you think that it was mostly bad communication? Okay, so you're voting on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Looks like me and Zeke are at a 2. Dave is at a 5. He's 10 toes down on this, and we got
Josh
Josh
is
at
at his
3.
trademark 3.
Trade.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, Dave, yeah, why don't you start us off, bro?
All right. So it's layers to it for me. I was at a 5. Okay. So yes, I absolutely. I feel like there was horrible communication on both sides. All right. I felt like the Red Sox have a history of um, saying one thing, doing another, putting another out there. We can go back and look at all the way back to Nomar Garcia-Parra. We can look at Xander Bogaerts. We can look at Mookie Betts, and now we can look at Rafael Devers. This team cannot keep a star on their roster to save their lives. And I'm going to blame the communication on Rafi Devers. I'm going to blame it on the front office, and I'm going to blame it on Alex Cora as well. And the reason that I'm going in that direction is because Cora's coming out now claiming that certain conversations didn't take place and it was this way or is this way. This way or that way. He didn't know about certain conversations, and as the skipper, you're supposed to have your finger on the pulse. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to know what's going on in your locker room. Now, I'm not saying you should know everything, but you should know most of it. The communication between Rafi Devers and his coach seemed to be and his manager seemed to be good on some levels. His communication with the front office was damaged at best. They seem to be playing lyrical gymnastics with each other, kind of taunting each other, kind of making snide remarks through the press, using the press to kind of negotiate this whole thing. But I knew Rafi Devers was done when Alex Bregman got hurt and they asked him to play third, his actual position, and he didn't want to go do it. I knew they were going to get rid of him. So for me, the communication piece of it, it was all of them, even the manager. It was all their faults. However, Rafi Devers, with the amount of money that the Red Sox were paying him, if they asked him to go on and shag fly balls during warm ups, he should have been doing it. It's about being a team player, and it's about doing whatever you can to help your team. Obviously, Rafi Devers wanted to get out of Boston. He used this whole situation to actually get himself out of Boston. All right. And not only that, there's a lot of young players that are left behind in Boston that he laid the blueprint for to show them how they can get out of Boston when it's their time and when they're ready to leave. It's just a shame. He wanted to get out because as soon as he went to San Francisco, his first statement was he's willing to play first base if they want him to. So there you have it.
Okay. And for you guys out there in the audience, make sure that if you want to join the chat, make sure you join the chat. Go ahead and leave a comment. You might see your comment up on the screen. I'll turn it over to Zeke. You were at a 2. I'm wondering if it was for the same reason that I'm at a 2, but I'll go ahead and let you take the floor.
I think tensions between Rafael Devers and the Red Sox were due to Rafael Devers being extremely selfish. I don't
Okay.
think it has anything to do with bad communication. Dave mentioned that they paid him a lot of money. Let's talk about exactly how much money they paid this man.
Let's do it.
They gave him a 10-year, $313.5 million contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
Quick math, $31.35 million a year to be a bad third baseman.
Worst in the league.
Okay. Worst in the league. So my man is getting paid over $31 million. They ask him, hey, I read that he wanted them to invest in the roster. Okay. They go out and Alex Bregman is sitting there pretty much saying, hey, can somebody give me some money? I want to play ball. Bregman had a long stint on free agency. We weren't expecting him to be a free agent as long as he was, but he was there. They fell into his laps at an extremely discounted price. And if I'm Rafi Devers, I'm like, all right, if you look at the way the roster is constructed, we got a gold glove third baseman. I am a bronze brick glove third baseman. You're going to pay me $31 million to hit. I can do that because they didn't pay you that money to play third base. They paid you that money to help them win. And best case scenario is you coming in and doing your thing on the offensive side, and we can plug in a gold glover on defense who also, by the way, can hit himself. You put Alex Bregman, he left it was Minute Maid Park. I'm not sure what the name of it is now, but other than like the Green Monster being 30 something feet high, they have similar dimensions in Houston, and Bregman put up numbers in Houston. So Bregman, if it wasn't for the injury, Bregman would probably be putting up Bregman type numbers in Boston right now. You put him in the lineup with Devers and everything else that they had going on in the lineup with the young and up and coming stars, you got a pretty good team in Boston, but he wants to be selfish and he wants to. They gave up. They chose him over Mookie Betts. That's what I keep going back to when I think about this. Like they chose this dude over Mookie Betts, who is perennially one of the best players in the league, MVP candidate. Mookie Betts was a beast in right field. He went to the Dodgers. They said, "Hey, we need you to play second base." Mookie Betts ain't played infield since probably like high school or wherever. He hadn't played infield in the majors. You know what Mookie Betts did? Put his outfield glove down, put his infield glove on, went to play second base. Oh, our shortstop can't make the throw from shortstop to first. Hey Mookie, we need you to play shortstop. You know what Mookie Betts did? Went over to the other side of the field and played shortstop. Dude, we're talking about a superstar saying whatever I gotta do to help the team win, that's what I'm gonna do. But then we got Rafael Devers being extremely selfish, and okay, it wasn't ideal that they came to him and asked him to play first base, but there was a need. Like, yo, all right, you want to play in the field? You're not going to be a third baseman, but we got a need at first base. Can you play first base? No. Oh, okay. Well, all right. We're paying you $31 million a year, and you can't help us out by filling this void. Yeah, you going.
Okay. Well, I don't think I want to let the Boston Red Sox off the hook on this one. And so, like, the reason I gave it a two is like, and not for nothing, I was with both of you guys on the forefront of, I thought Devers looked very bad with him being unwilling to move. You got to be a team player. I get that. I actually agree with your take. But as far as the reason that I think that he ended up getting traded, this is where I'm at. For the very points that you made, I see it the exact opposite way, right? Because if I'm on a team that has Rafael Devers and Mookie Betts, and my team comes to me like, the Mets say, sorry, we have to let go of Mookie Betts because we believe in Devers. I'm like, bro, keep them both. They're amazing. Are you telling me they can't be on the field at the same time? Why are you being cheap? Move. They don't even play the same position. Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? Why are you being cheap? And so he wanted some more talent to be on that team. So they went out and they got Alex Bregman. But look at the MO of the Boston Red Sox. When did they get Alex Bregman? Did they get him in the beginning of free agency? Were they aggressive in trying to make sure that a talent like Alex Bregman came to their team first? No. They let that guy sit on the marketplace and his value dropped and dropped and dropped because the Boston Red Sox are cheap.
Not
They're
everybody
cheap.
got Uncle Steve money, bro.
Bro, but you're in one of the biggest areas, and they pack that stadium out. They sell tons and tons of merchandise. They're one of the premier franchises in all of baseball. All of baseball. You know what I mean? And so, like, how is it that your biggest contract now that you managed to wiggle out of the 10-year, $313 million contract, they managed to get that off of their books. They managed to wriggle out that. Now their biggest contract on the books is Alex Bregman and Trevor Story. Maybe that's why they're hesitant because they gave Trevor Story all that money and he turned out to be kind of a bust, right? But it's like, nah, I'm not letting the Boston Red Sox organization off the hook. Like, bro, like you need to communicate better. But I think like the reason they weren't communicating is because I just feel like they didn't feel that they were going to be able to compete for a championship with this current roster, and that their main objective is not championships, it's money. And so it's like, bro, at the end of the day, like what here's the stat that gets me. The Boston Red Sox traded Rafi Devers, Mookie Betts, and Chris Sale. Chris Sale, who's just lighting the league on fire, most 2,000 strikeouts, you know what I mean? MVP, Mookie Betts. They traded three of those guys. You know who they got back? Jordan Hicks in the Devers trade. Who? Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, Jose Bello, Jeter Downs, Alex Verdugo, who, if I'm correct, is currently on the Braves now. Connor Wong and Vaughn Grissom. Any of
But
those
was
guys
this,
lighting
was
the
this
world on
trade
fire?
was this trade really about getting something back,
No.
or was it
It
really
was
about
dumping
This
getting
this
salary,
something
this was
back?
this was addition by subtraction. This was getting rid
but it's
of
not an addition. It's
uh,
only an addition on the money
you get
side.
rid of Rafael Devers. Now you can make moves with your roster that allows they got. I mean, you look at the Red Sox. Well, they're not in the farm system anymore because they're on the big league squad now. But at one point, the Red Sox had like three of the top 10 or 15 prospects in baseball just waiting for a spot to play. You got uh what's the name?
Christian
Christian
Campbell.
Campbell. You
Yeah.
got
Roman Anthony?
Roman Anthony. You got Marcelo Meyer. Um, Sadan Rafaela. He's young and upcoming star. You got Jaron Duran. We spoke about him a couple episodes ago. He's
Bro,
an
they
up and
might
coming
trade him at
star.
the deadline.
I don't see why they have to though, because I honestly feel like once you the one thing that hurt them, other than this whole Rafael Devers fiasco, was dang, Matty O just put one in the chop house, Chris. Anyway, one thing that hurt them was losing Tristan Casas at first base. Um, that was a big blow to their lineup. That was what opened up the door for them asking Rafael Devers to play first base in the first place. But I see the Red Sox being able to be competitive within the next couple years or so. I mean, even they might make some noise this year, but I don't think this was a death knell. I don't think this was a sign that they're going to be rebuilding. This is just a retool. I see the Red Sox being a successful squad within the next 2 or 3 years. Are they going to win the World Series? I'm not going to go that far, but they're going to make some noise in the AL East.
Man, if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, how do you feel about this?
Well, a lot of Red Sox fans are thinking that the money part of it was to get rid of Rafi Devers because the Fenway Sports Group that owns the Red Sox also owns the Liverpool Football Club. And just over the last week, they signed 2 players to some significant money, I believe it was like over 115 million spent on just the transfer fee alone, from what I understand. So, there's rumors out there that, they want to get rid of Rafi's contract so they could shift that money over to Liverpool or whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Rafi was being, a diva. And they're like, you know what? We got a chance to dump this money. San Francisco wants some. What do we really care about what we get back? We got these young bucks up here ready to eat. So they figured.
And I mean, my question is, what is he going to do in San Francisco? Because you got Matt Chapman over there, who is another Gold Glove third baseman. So you go to the Giants, of course you're going to say I'll play anywhere because you really don't have a choice. This ain't your team, so you're going to do whatever they ask you to do.
You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna mash, even if he DHs, he's gonna mash. Did y'all watch him last night?
Yeah, he already started.
Yo, he gonna be
all right. No time.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was gonna say too. Like, because I don't know the sport very well. I don't follow the guys like you do, but from what I was seeing, like Devers was putting up pretty decent numbers at bat. Multiple seasons having 30 multiple 30 home run seasons and 100 RBI seasons. So it wasn't the offensive side, right? That he was.
It was never the bat.
It was more the defensive side, right? And so to me, you would think like the club, you would have thought that they would have considered like, all right, why would we pay this guy so much money if he's not playing well on both sides of the field? But Dave brought up a good point, and it just made me think of something. And I was actually just talking to a friend of mine about this. But there's a long-standing joke in a place of work that I go to. I won't say any names, but best way to get rid of somebody is to promote them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, from hearing you guys, it almost seems like that's what this feels like. They gave this guy a ton of money and with the intention of offloading a bunch of cap space to another team worth paying for him just to free up some room. That's kind of what it feels like. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know the sport that well. So,
but I'll tell you what, like the Giants on the other side of this coin, they've been struggling to get anyone to take their money. They've been throwing money at every single free agent, and no one has wanted to go there. They finally get a man from the Milwaukee Brewers to take their money, and then he's kind of Willie Adames, and he's kind of been not what they hope. You know what I mean? Because the Giants' offense has not been great.
That stadium is hard to hit in. Like the environment, you got the breeze coming in off of Buckhovey Cove. You got it's hard to hit in that stadium. Barry Bonds made it look easy because he was Barry Bonds, but the Giants haven't had a 30 home run hitter since Barry Bonds retired. Like that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Barry ain't swung a bat in a big league game in almost 2 decades. So
not for lack of trying. The Giants they tried to get Soto to my understanding, Ohtani to my understanding.
They always had Judge.
They almost had Judge. They were in on all the big names. They're trying to get someone to take their money. No one would do it. And now they got someone that can, like Josh was saying, that can mash. He can get 30 home runs, and they got a really good relief corps. So it's going to be interesting to see, what heights the Giants are able to climb after this trade.
And not for
Let's keep
nothing,
it.
they're another
Oh,
California team, so whatever money you get is going to get heavily taxed. That's working against them too.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's keep it moving. Let's jump into our second topic. Uh, Man, to me this one was crazy when I saw the news drop. Not because of the player getting traded. We had Desmond Bain getting traded for KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope, and four, count them, four first round draft picks. Are you guys able to throw the graphic up on the screen? So four first round draft picks. And so when I saw that, I thought it was crazy. It brought back a lot of memories. But the question for us before the panel today is, hey, after trading KCP and four first round draft picks, did the value of first round picks were they devalued in this trade in the NBA? So let's take it to a vote. One, two, three. Okay, so I'm at a four. Dave's at a three. Josh and Zeke are both at a one. Uh, let's go ahead and start with you, Zeke. You're at a one. Definitely disagree with this. Why is that?
Well, here's the thing, because I don't think this particular trade devalued the value of first round picks.
Hmm.
The value
Okay.
of first round picks in the NBA have been devalued for a long time. Like even with the lottery, if you don't get like the first two or three picks in the lottery, it's like, oh crap, now what are we gonna do? Like
Right.
nobody cares about first round picks anymore in the NBA. That's why you see them flying around like crazy. Like you don't see stuff like this in other sports. Like even baseball. Like the first round picks mean something in baseball. First round picks mean something in basketball, hockey,
In baseball,
baseball,
you can't even
football,
trade them.
hockey. Basketball, it's like, all right, if you're not Cooper Flag, good luck. Like it's sad how you watch the lottery and the teams who get picks 3 through 14, they're like, crap, this was a waste of my time. Why did I even come here? So yeah, I don't think it was this particular trade that devalued first round picks. First round picks have been darn near worthless for a really long time.
Hmm. Okay. Dave.
Yeah, Zeke made a great point. In baseball, you can't even trade picks, so that's how valuable picks are. In that sport, you're not allowed to trade picks between teams. You have to whatever picks you get, you have to keep them. Um, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm at a three on this. I'm rocking the fence on this one because I don't really care about Desmond Bain. I don't really care about this trade. Um, I just feel like these dudes are just like the NBA. They the worst to me, man. It just seems like they just trying to pile the top three people on a team and see what they can do with it. And they've been doing this since they tried to build the super team with the Lakers when they had Karl Malone and Gary Payton. I can't even remember who else was on that team, man. It was just
Hmm.
anytime I hear about these kinds of trades, it blows my mind. Like when they're just giving away these, all of these picks and stuff like that. I understand the win now mentality, but I don't get the means to the end. I don't understand like why they have to go the way that they go. Um, and I feel like it's going to happen a lot more since Shea Alexander, since that trade worked out in favor of OKC. I have a fear that teams are just going to make this the norm now, where they're just going to start throwing all these draft picks out to see what they can, um, see if they can get that hit like SGA. You feel me? Like they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's almost like Brian Cashman. You know, every time that a old free agent that won the batting title 9 years ago, or the MVP like 12 years ago. Oh, that's the man. We got him, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's all it reminds me of. It just reminds me of that mentality from leadership, and it drives me crazy. I'm good.
All right, Josh, why don't you jump in here?
Yeah, I gave this a 1. I'm very much along on the same lines as Zeke. I think that it, in the last 10 years, it hasn't mattered where you land in the draft. Very visibly, for that matter. But I'm going more so along the lines of this individual trade. The Magic had a young team, for I think they have their three main starters are under the age of 24 years old, right? So Orlando has been in the rebuild phase for some time, with Blanchero and a couple of the other guys there. And so what they really needed was someone who was going to fit the um, veteran role, but someone who would also, produce on the court. And I think that's what they got in this trade with Desmond Bain. So let's just put it into perspective. I just looked up some of the stats. And so KCP was making, on a 3-year, $66 million deal. He averaged, and let me pull this up again. It's right here. He was averaging 8.7 points a game, 2 rebounds, 1.8 assists. He was doing okay at the free throw line, but that's about it. And he just wasn't producing. And he's aging. He's now 32 years old, right? And so he just hasn't been the production player that they're looking for, right? And he was really their main veteran on the team. So now you look at Desmond Bain. What's Desmond Bain's contract looking like? Well, he signed a 5-year, $197 million deal, but he's 26 years old, right? And Zeke's staring at us. Look at this. This past season, 32 points, 32 minutes a game, 19 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.2 steals. He's playing great on all sides of the court. He's playing good in on defense, good on offense, and he's one of those guys that you know what you're going to get when you're paying him for what you're paying for, right? So I look at it like this: they've got this young core who they believe in, and they just needed that veteran player to come in and bring the team together. And I think that's what the purpose of this whole trade was. They're not going to go ahead and spend their first 4 draft picks and hope that one of those guys is going to hit. You just don't know anymore. It's a lottery. But when you can rest assured and you can put a stamp on an automatic starter who's going to play the difference and be that core team leader, I think they hit the home run here. And if they truly believe in their players, they're going to do all right next season.
Fantastic job, Josh. And so, like, yeah, I mean, you brought up some really good points. I'm gonna jump in right here. Yeah, I wasn't mad at the trade that the Magic tried to get a player as talented as Desmond Bain. He's a very talented player. I don't want to take anything away from that. Matter of fact, he kind of reminds me of the old school basketball of like, kind of like an Allen Houston being a Knicks fan, where he was able to hit the threes, just like Desmond Bain. He's a career 41% 3-point shooter, which is kind of ho hum by today's NBA standards, but that's considered really good, right? And but he plays defense. He can get you a bucket, and he's clutch. So I get it from the Magic standpoint. My issue, which is why I gave it a 4, was the value of those draft picks, which I just thought was just incredible. Because like you would see these kind of trades happen when you have your franchise superstar get traded, and you almost feel bad for the franchise trading that guy because it's like, well, they can't keep him. They got to reset their franchise. So at least they're getting 4 draft picks. You know what I mean? So that way they can have the opportunity. That's what goes through my head when I hear 4 draft picks move from one team to the other. I'm like, okay, they trying to reset that franchise. That's not their superstar player. That's John Morant, right? And Jaren Jackson. That's probably like their third best player on the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Not to take anything away from Desmond Bain. I think he's going to be a great addition, like I said. But at the same time, like that's not the superstar that's getting traded. 4 draft picks, and to me, it was the fact that to Zeke's point, where this has been happening. To me, I guess this was the nail in the coffin for me when it comes to draft picks and these types of magnitudes, because we saw this happen with Rudy Gobert, which took the NBA, like people in the NBA were floored when Rudy Gobert got traded from the Jazz to the Timberwolves. We saw 5 picks and 4 players get traded. 5 picks for Rudy Gobert, who, like the guy can't hit a jump shot. I mean, I'm not taking anything away. He's a great defensive player. You know what I mean? He can get you an alley oop dunk. He's great. Coming around the screen. But like Rudy Gobert, bro, like five draft picks. That was insane. And then we saw it happen again, unfortunately, with my beloved New York Knicks when they gave up 4 unprotected first round draft
Oh,
picks for Mikal Bridges, which I
dumb,
just
yo.
thought it's just insane. And then to see the trend continue with another 4 draft picks for Desmond Bain, my
That's why I'm
goodness.
saying, man. That's why
Like
I'm tired of it. I'm just like, I'm
it,
done with it.
it illuminates a couple things. What happens when a really big star player gets traded? Oh, my bad. We know what happens. They only need to trade what Anthony Davis. They don't even need to trade really anything else because unfortunately, this just kind of highlights just how bad the Dallas Mavericks got fleeced. You didn't get 4 first round draft picks at least for Luka Doncic. What? It's crazy. It's just crazy. But to me, this was the nail in the coffin when you're talking about like NBA valuation on these draft picks. It's incredible. But to your point, Zeke, and I'll end with this. We've seen some good players get drafted later in the rounds. Like, why do NBA teams just completely spit on the value of the first round pick? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm looking at this like 16th overall. Who were they going to get? First round in 2026. What was it? 2028, and they're swapping in 2029. I don't really see like what Orlando was really going to do. And I understand, Chris, your point of like the Memphis side of things, but Memphis is in a point right now where they don't know what John Morant is going to happen. I mean, the dude is he might actually shoot a gun, in the coming months. We don't really know, right? And then like who else do they really have on that side that they can really rely on? So I think it was a win-win for both. Like I said, Orlando is just a young team who they can truly have their starting five last them these next 4 years if they can keep them healthy and they can produce. They've been to Blanchero was like an NBA All Star, bro, in his first season. So
Yeah.
I'm all about this trade, and I don't think at all that this devalues the first round. In fact, what it does is it gives teams like Orlando, who has a young squad and is looking for that next thing. They want to win a chip, bro. They're striving for that chip, and this is just helping them build that team.
Yeah. Well, before we segue into our NBA Finals conversation, Dave, why don't you shout out our sponsor this week?
Oh yeah, we forgot to do that in the beginning, man. My bad. All right, yeah, let's give a shout out to Opposition Radio, everybody. So Opposition Radio is a 24-hour internet radio station that specializes in Christian hip hop, EDM, R&B, reggae, Latin, and pop music. Be sure to check out all the amazing artists in rotation over at Opposition Radio. And you can check them out by going to the opsradio.live from any internet browser. Opposition Radio, motivation to stand firm. Shout out to Opposition Radio.
The
All
ops, the
right.
ops.
All
Ops
right.
Radio.
So moving over to our NBA Finals conversation, we see that, and you can throw that up on the screen whenever you have a second. But we see that the OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder, is 1 win away from the championship, coming back from a 2-1 hole against the Indiana Pacers to now be on the precipice of their first NBA championship in their franchise history. And so, hey, now Shea Gilgeous Alexander winning his first ring will make him the new face of the NBA by default. And that over the anointed one, I guess, Anthony Edwards. And so, on a scale of 1 to 5, that's how we do things, fellas. Let's go ahead and throw them up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. We got some real low ones. Okay. So, we got Zeke at a 1, Josh at a 2, I'm at a 1. Dave, you're the high man at a 3.
We
Um,
gotta hear him first.
yeah. Uh, Josh, I mean, why don't you? You haven't started us off yet. Why don't you start us off on this one, and then I'm going to throw it to Dave.
I'm giving this a 2. I by no means am taken away from SGA's ability and his playability and his superstardom here, right? I think that he's an amazing player. I think that he's been overlooked for some time now. But I really don't think that this is taken away from Edwards whatsoever. Just the way that Edwards is able to get the shine when it comes to those big games, especially when he's playing LA and LeBron, um, and just the way that he holds himself and his media team and all that stuff. I just really don't see this changing whatsoever. Does it give SG a little bit of oomph ahead? Maybe but I really don't see this changing. Ant Man just has the publicity behind him to drive, and I think players just really want to see him on the court, especially like I said, playing against guys like LeBron, because he's gonna go nitty gritty and play the type of ball that players reminisce on.
All right, Dave, change our mind, man.
Oh, I'm about to. Uh, so right now, Shea Gilgis Alexander is about to play Game 6 of the NBA Finals. You know what Anthony Edwards is playing right now?
Golf.
Call of Duty.
He's playing Call of Duty. He's playing either Call of Duty or he's playing some coconuts down in Cancun. You know what I'm saying? Or some beach volleyball. That's what he's doing right now. SGA is on the world stage right now. Forget about what the ratings and stuff look like. That's we know what that is. Um, SGA. This is listen. I don't want to be the old get off my lawn man. Okay. But I'm gonna go and step into that role for a second. When I look at those two players and I watch both of them conduct themselves with pregame or postgame interviews, and I look at them and being a father of 4 daughters, and I say, you know what, which one of these young men would I like for my daughters to bring home to me, for me to meet and say, hey dad, look, my daughters are all grown and all this, so he's a little young for them, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at these two young men, and I watch SGA how he handles himself. He's very articulate. He handles himself pretty professionally. He's very well spoken. Um, he's got a maturity level about him that just like it's just I don't know I don't know what it is about him, but he's just a very dynamic young man. Then I look at Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is he's a little ghetto. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's a little ghetto, and he's also he could be a little ignorant in his in some of his statements and some of his interviews and stuff like that. Now these kids today they get with that. They tend to clean to this kind of thing.
It
Oh,
sells. It
that's
sells.
swag and it's ooh, you know what I'm saying? To me,
Mhm.
it's not swag. To me, it's ignorance. Okay. And then he had the drama with the young lady that he fathered the child with, and we won't get into all of that because that's his business and her business. I won't. I'm not here to put all of that out there. But I just thought that whole situation just far be it for me to say how it should have been handled, but the way that it was handled, and the way that it was reported, um, it's really doesn't. It's not really becoming of a young man that is presenting himself to be a fatherly figure. Okay, I don't know that young man's background. I don't know where he comes from, and I'm not here to judge him. Okay, I'm just telling you as a casual, because I am a casual NBA fan. I'm not a fan I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm a casual NBA fan. Okay, I watch the Knicks when they are, but the NBA I could do without the rest of it. Um, but when I look at the two, and SGA is on the platform right now. He's on the world stage right now. So I'm getting to see a lot more of him. And I just appreciate what kind of young man SGA is and how he handles himself. So for me, if I'm a marketing firm or I'm a brand and I say, you know what am I looking for? Am I looking for, listen, the street sells. I get that part, Bob. I get that part. But you always have to be worried, when is the street going to show up? Is it going to show up at the wrong time? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I look at SGA, and for me, he is the lower or the lesser risk to my image and to my brand. So that's where I'm at with that. With um, will he be the next face of the NBA by default? I sure hope so. I sure hope so because as it stands right now, I'm not really digging where the look that the casual fan may get um, of the NBA with Anthony Edwards being the face. And this is
Zeke,
purely my
oh,
opinion. Okay,
of course, it's all our opinions. Zeke, you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
It's up to you, pimp. Either way, I'm
Uh,
cool with it.
all right, go ahead. You go first then.
So the funny thing is, as I'm thinking about how I want to answer this question, and Dave starts talking, and he's talking about who would I want my daughters to bring home. Like
Oh boy.
5 seconds before I thought about that, I was saying like SGA is the dude that fathers want their daughters to bring home. Um, Anthony Edwards is a dude that daughters want to be with.
right, right.
So,
There you
like,
go.
yeah, like Dave being the grown, sophisticated, mature human being that he is, he's pulling for SGA.
Yeah.
But I don't think the NBA is going for grown, mature, sophisticated fans. They
Not,
want
not,
what sells. And unfortunately, I don't think SGA has that personality that they're looking for.
mhm.
SGA kind of reminds me of Kawhi Leonard or a Tim Duncan. They're absolute dogs on the court, but they have the personality of a brick wall.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and I mean, no, not SGA might be a real cool dude to hang out with, but if I'm looking face of the league, he ain't it.
he's the
Um,
moral choice. He's the moral choice. He's
yeah,
just
he's
not.
the moral choice, but bro, this isn't the Christian basketball league. This isn't the church league. This
Yeah.
is the National Basketball
This
Association. This is
isn't
a global
this isn't the
brand,
Jerry West
and they,
period.
huh?
This isn't the Jerry West time period or era. Jerry West era.
Right,
That's
Show your
true.
right. This
logo.
this is this is 2025 NBA, and they're not looking for who's who's gonna hold the door open for me and who's gonna walk on the street side of the road when they're walking my daughter down. They no, they want who's gonna sell, who's gonna uh draw more eyes. And SGA, I mean, the dude put up superstar type numbers, and the only reason people are watching and they're barely watching is because they have no other options. This is the
Right, right.
finals. These are the last two teams in the league, so they have to watch them. But I mean, if you, I think Ant Man. If I'm choosing between these two as who I want as the face of my league, it's gonna be Ant Man over SGA. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Yeah, it's funny, Zeke. You took a lot of what I was going to say, including the part where I was going to actually compare him to Tim Duncan, man. So kudos to you. We thinking alike right now. But
Don't do my man
I
Duncan
have
like
to
that.
say this to the audience. I apologize. The question was a trick question. None of them are the face of the NBA. You can't be the face of the NBA when you got the worst ratings in like ever since 2020 with the lockout year. So it's like, bro, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I was just pulling up the stats here. The Oklahoma City lower than average TV ratings, while Game Four saw a series high viewership. The overall through the first four games is the lowest since the bubble. lowest since the bubble. These numbers are significantly down between last year's Celtics versus Mavericks, and this year's series is also the first since 2007 in which at least 4 games have fallen below the 10 million viewership mark. So I'm sorry, this was a trick question. They can't be the face of the NBA. You can't be the face of the NBA being in Cancun right now. You just can't. You can't take that mantle while being in Cancun. And you can't take that mantle when nobody cares. And this is what I was saying
Who's
in
the current
pre.
face of the NBA right now? Who would you say is the current face of the NBA?
I think they're searching for one. I don't even think they really have one. It probably still is LeBron because he's the one that gets the most pub. But my
He
man
was in
LeBron is in.
Cancun first.
But LeBron is in the news for all the wrong reasons right now. My man is starting to talk about like, man, nobody cares about
Rings don't count.
championships. Rings don't matter. And they're like, bro, you sound like a clown just because you get into the end and you know that like even if
You're
you win
not
another
getting no more
championship,
rings.
ain't nobody gonna be giving that, putting that on your mantle, right? They're gonna put that on Doncic if he finally gets into shape that could do what everybody thinks that he's capable of.
Let me
But
ask this
like,
question real quick, man. Okay,
yeah,
let me ask you a question, man. If you're looking, if you're looking for your Superman in your sport, right? Do you want the guy that says rings don't matter right here, or rings are the only thing that matter? Which sounds more GOAT to you?
easy.
Listen,
Rings are the only
listen.
Rings
thing
are
that
the
matter.
thing that matter. We want
It
winners.
it was
Why
a
do we keep
well-known
talking
fact.
about LeBron? Like LeBron, man. Like I can't wait for this dude to retire, man. To answer the question, he's definitely the face of the league right now. But it's because they don't, they're afraid to not make him the face of the league.
Yeah,
That's the rhetoric of like I don't want to say that's the vocabulary of losers, but I mean,
It is, man.
dang,
that is.
it, if Mike didn't win a ring, it wasn't a successful season. If Brady
Right.
didn't win a ring, it wasn't a successful. I don't care if he played for the championship. If he loses the Super Bowl, he's not happy, and he's back in the lab trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again next year.
Yep.
Like LeBron saying that he's okay with losing, it doesn't matter because I feel like he just wants to be recognized as the greatest so bad that he'll move the goalposts.
Hmm.
And it's sad. He going out sad
But
right now.
He is. He's
and not
going
for
out
nothing,
pathetic, man.
you can't be the face of the NBA by just simply that has to be not necessarily earned, but there's a gravity to the person who becomes the face of the NBA. Or just the face of any sports league, right? There's a gravity about that person that occurs. Jordan, like you said, Zeke, Brady, like currently in the NFL, it's Mahomes, right? He's just got a gravity. Everybody wants to watch him to see what he's going to do. Is he going to throw a behind the back pass, or you just kind of love to hate him, right? Where you're just saying
Right.
like, man, that guy is so successful. I can't stand that
I want
guy.
I want to watch just in case he loses, so I can say I was there when he lost.
That's exactly it. And so like there's nobody like that in the NBA that can be that right now is on that level of successfulness or that is dominating onto the court with the personality to boot that we can kind of point to. And so that's like when you said who's the current face of the NBA, they don't have one, and that's why their ratings are so down. And the regular season is just, I mean, they're looking for um, gimmicks to draw eyes to the TV because they don't have it right now. And so I think that's kind of the problem with that. Speaking of, because we'll just transition here. I mean, the aura of Caitlin Clark. I mean, she's easily like the GOAT right now of her WNBA. She leaves for like what, a week or
Yo,
2 weeks?
he's
How long
trolling,
she
man.
was?
This
How
dude
long was
is
she injured for?
this dude is
And
trolling,
ratings go
man.
down 50% when she's off the court. It's just insane.
Ain't it time for the
That's
roundup?
It is, man.
that's what I mean by aura.
Push the
It's a
button, Jazz.
natural
I
thing.
saw it coming,
Oh,
man.
wait a second. Before we get to this, I'm going to take this off the block. I don't want to take too much shine.
But the Lakers are being sold.
You said something really good there about domination, bro. I just need to put this up there. And this is for my boy Z, all right?
Oh my god.
Talk about domination.
The
Hey,
I
Rams
he
did
had a
not put
great
him up to
game.
that, dude. I did not
No, I'm
ask him to
not.
do that. I promise you.
Bro, I'm not even mad. I mean, congratulations. You're now what, 12 games back? Good job.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's it's because I was gonna go easy on you. I didn't ask him to put that up there. I just put that in the
Hey,
group chat.
No,
Look,
I'm not.
listen,
Listen,
listen.
Chris Sale
Tonight
is a
was not going to
talented
be
pitcher.
about the Mets versus the Braves. But since you want to
Bro,
talk junk,
I'm
who
not
knew
talking
that
junk.
the
I'm
only
saying he did a
reason?
great job. Congratulations.
Listen, this is the part of the season where the Mets normally met, and we end up catching you. Because if we had known that the remedy to us turning our season around was actually having to play the Mets, when was the last time we went this deep into the season and haven't played the Mets? It's June. This is our first time playing each other, and we're 2-0 against you. So,
Wait a minute. Didn't you just say let's get to the weekly roundup? Josh, let's get to the weekly roundup. In other news,
you're
LA
welcome, Austin
Lakers.
Powers. I just had to give you a little bit of that.
I mean, I
Yeah, I'm not even mad. Do I look bad? Do I look mad?
No,
I'm
I
happy,
didn't.
man. Yeah, we still what, 12 games up? We good.
take
So
time.
LA Lakers are being sold for a record $10 billion. That's a sports franchise record. Shout out to the
Jerry
Buss
Buss is
family.
rolling over his grave right now,
Yeah,
bro.
he is, man.
I wouldn't say so. I think he would be proud
Absolutely
of
not.
happy for his kids.
The Lakers was his baby, man.
Lakers was definitely his baby. His baby, like if you watch the HBO series where they were documenting Jerry Buss and as well as Magic Johnson, it was really
Hmm
interesting series. I recommend people check it out. Well, I probably shouldn't recommend that on the
Yeah.
Ops podcast.
Careful about that,
It's
bro.
got some got some parts that are
Stay
probably
stay prayed
inappropriate.
up if you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's probably facts. But yeah, with that said, like I mean, he wasn't truly considering Jeannie as that next heir, but like it kind of like she worked really hard and she earned that mantle. But shout out to the Buss family. I think that when you're thinking of owners, bro, I think any one of us would want an owner like the Busses, where they're always trying and striving to get their team to that championship. So I mean, I know I just speak for myself. I would love if we had owners with the Knicks as great as the Buses legacy is going to be with the Lakers.
Now,
Yeah,
did I see
I
that there
would
was a
say
Dodgers
I would say
ownership group?
player signing wise.
Mark
Go ahead.
Walter.
Go ahead.
Was that the Dodgers ownership group that bought them?
Yep, Walter.
Okay, I was wondering when I saw that did that include Magic? Cause that would have been dope. Cause he's part owner of the Dodgers too. So
Man,
No,
that's
it
a
just
perfect transition into our next topic. Otani is now going to play power forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. No, I'm just playing.
Dave
That would
would
be
blow a head
hilarious.
gasket if
He
that
can do
happened.
everything, guys. He can pitch. He can hit. He can
He
play
can
power forward.
rebound. He can shoot threes.
That's right.
A
But
walking
nah,
triple
real
double.
talk. What you say?
A walking triple double.
Walking triple double. Look at all the Japanese fans finally coming into the NBA
Oh my
fold.
gosh.
That's right. But Shohei Ohtani finally took the mound after having his second Tommy John surgery before he even signed the record-breaking contract at the time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Uh, so I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think of that appearance? He
Yo,
had
okay,
So
one
hold on
okay.
inning,
a
two
second.
hits, gave up one
Your,
run.
your opening should have been Shohei Ohtani took the mound for the first time after two Tommy John surgeries en route to his third. That's what you should have said. Because that's where it's
Gotcha.
headed. That is exactly
Gotcha.
where this is headed. I don't know why they got this fool out here pitching again, man. Let the dude DH and be done with it, man. They are not gonna be happy until they break this dude.
Look, they got him pitching because they paid him $70 million a year.
I
Or
get it, bro.
$8.
that
They are
that's
$8
gonna
why he's
break him, man.
pitching. Because
They
they
are
paid
going
for
to
two
break him.
players in one, and they want to get that second player. They
And
they
he's no
paid for an
Devers.
ace and a middle of the middle of the lineup bat. They haven't gotten
Oh
the ace
man.
yet, so they
Why
want to
would you
get
put
their
this guy in
value.
a
They want to get
position?
their money's worth.
Why would you put him in a position to either blow out his arm again or get shotgun in the face by a comebacker? Why?
That's
Dave,
what
he
he
only
signed.
pitched
That's what
one
he
inning.
signed up to do.
He only pitched one inning.
For now,
What's his ERA?
He can't
9.0
go to
now. That's
Triple
terrible.
A.
A
He can't go to Triple
9.00
A, Dave.
ERA.
I don't care that he can't go to AAA, man. It's dumb. They said they weren't going to pitch this dude until the postseason. Like, why do they need him pitching right now? Why?
Because they got all their starters injured and it's only
What
one
is their
inning
Right.
and they
record?
have to ramp them up.
What is their record though? What I'm saying is like they're holding it down while their starters have been hurt. Why does Shohei Ohtani need to pitch?
It's got to ramp up
Nobody
Because it's
eventually, Dave.
Shohei. Look,
Shohei.
the most annoying thing in his outing is like after the game, they're like, "Oh, he reached 100 miles an hour." I'm like, dude, everybody does that now. It's no big deal anymore.
Yeah.
Why do we have to make a big deal of him reaching 100 miles an hour? Oh, because it's Shohei. When I read that, my inner Dave Jones welled up inside me. Like, yo, they glazing this dude. Get off
Well,
him.
let me tell you, man, he was just a few more miles per hour closer to Tommy John. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna blow this dude's arm out, man. Mark
Well,
my words, man. We're gonna be on here one night and we're gonna be sitting here and we're gonna watch.
Breaking news.
Listen, man, I'm not praying for this man's downfall, but I'm just saying it's like that they don't know how good they have it with this dude, man. Like I don't get it. I really don't. I would not put this man at risk. Like not right now. I wouldn't do it. Playoffs, all for it, man. Let him go. He can come back with a noodle hanging to the ground,
oh
knuckles
boy.
dragging on the ground, his arm dead. But
Well,
if they
Dave,
get a tip from it, it would be worth it. But right now, for what? Like, it doesn't even matter if it's one inning, man. It's like, especially, they did. Did you hear what Robert said? Oh, I wasn't expecting him to hit 100 miles an hour. It's like, okay, so did you not talk to your man and tell your man to go up there and just lay up? Like for real,
bro,
like
he's gonna throw the ball. He's gonna pitch. He's gonna pitch. He's gonna do what he does. But
I get
anyways,
that.
we're already.
You get Zeke, school this man, Greg Maddux.
Nah, I
Greg Maddux.
nope,
How many times
nope.
Greg Maddux? If he's gonna pitch, he's gonna pitch Greg
He
Maddux.
know what Greg Maddox was. He watched Greg Maddox carve up the Mets all his career, so
How
he
many
knows
times did
about
Greg
it.
Maddux hit 95 miles per hour?
Probably
Bro,
never.
but like, dude, he's
Zero.
Shohei Ohtani is never going to be confused for Greg Maddux. First off, he's
Never.
not that pitcher. But like, if he's gonna pitch, he's gonna pitch. Like, he's gonna do his
The
his
pitching doesn't
throwing
mean you
motion.
have to throw 100, man. It
Who
doesn't.
says he was? He's just doing what he does, bro. He's just doing what he does.
That's what
And
I'm
now for
talking about, man. The manager has to reel him in and say, listen, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. You don't
all
go out
right,
and
well,
pitch
we're
one inning and
We gotta
ramp
get
up
back
to
to
Dave.
the
100
point
miles an
where
hour.
100 miles an hour is special. Like we shouldn't have pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour 40, 50 times a game. It should be one of
Yeah.
those where it's like, all right, bottom of the seventh, runners on second and third, and you're up by one. Boom, here
Okay.
come 100. Hit it if you can.
That's what
So
Gary
guys, we're
Cole
already
did
over
with
the
Matt.
1 hour mark. So now we gotta have like the fastest 5 minutes because we
Now,
stuck a little
go
too
ahead,
long on
man.
the
Close it.
Otani topic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing in the weekly roundup, which is Bruce the Bat Dogs. Dave, why don't you tell us about that?
All right, man. This is what's up, man. Shout out to Bruce the Bat Dog. Okay, so the Rochester Red Wings have Bruce the Bat Dog. He goes out during at bats and he retrieves the bat for the players that have just had an at bat. What I wanted to point out to this though is that I wanted to point this out. So we were at the game last Friday night, and they were playing the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, which is the AAA team for the Miami Marlins. All right, so Bruce comes out and he does his thing, and then they announce Bruce got called up to go to the majors. All right, he got called up to go to the Washington Nationals, and he had to go. He had to be there by Saturday afternoon for the game. So he left the Friday night game early, and the crowd celebrated him and stuff. But what I wanted to point out in this picture about with Bruce is that he's got this bandana on, right? So right now in Major League Baseball, Fanatics owns Topps trading cards. Okay, and so they have this thing going on now where they started this, I think, in 2023, where if a player gets called up for their first game, they have a Major League debut patch sewn onto the sleeve of their jersey. And if you take a look at Bruce's bandana here, I have circled what appears to be, not appears to be, it actually is. Bruce has a Major League debut patch on his bandana, which to me is super dope because they're treating him like he's one of the players, which I think is cool. And because Bruce is he's a homie, he's from The Rock, so I'm showing him some love here. The part that I don't like about this is that they're gonna go and cut this patch off of his bandana, and Bruce is gonna get a trading card. He's gonna get what's called a RPA. All right. I can't even believe I'm saying this, man. I can't
Wow.
even. It's the RPA.
Show of hands of who's jealous that a dog made it to the MLB before you did.
Nah, man. It's not even about. What I'm upset about is how Fanatics is gonna pimp out.
They're gonna monetize the heck out of this.
They're gonna take his
for
little
sure.
Major League, his MLB debut patch and put it in a card, and they're probably gonna put like a paw print on there for his autograph and stuff like that. And it's gonna go to Tops now. It's gonna be a huge chase for it. They're gonna make millions of dollars off of Bruce, and him and his handler aren't gonna get a dime of it.
Nah, Bruce is gonna be living in the nicest house in Pittsburgh. He's gonna have a doghouse in the back, all the doggy puppies with him. He's gonna be.
Bruce ain't coming back to Pittsburgh. Bruce made it to the big league.
Too.
Facts, man. He gonna have a house on Canandaigua Lake, man. You talk about Pittsburgh.
Canandaigua Lake. He in DC
for Bruce right now, bro. He got called up and got the rookie minimum.
He's got to be careful of the population down there asking for change.
Facts. Dave, tell us about the AUSL. Let's move on to the AUSL topic. What's that all about?
Zeke, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so the AUSL, the Athletes United Softball League, is a new professional women's softball league, and it caught my eye this past weekend, because I've long since wondered why there was like no professional softball league. I know that's probably not something a lot of people think about, but it's just one of those things where like college softball is huge. Like they have the college softball World Series every year on ESPN, and it's a big deal. But it seems like outside of the Olympics, after you finish with college, that's it. There's no softball. There's no professional softball. So when I saw that they actually started this up, and I saw some of the names that were involved in getting this going. You got Kim Ng, who was she was the GM, Dave, for the Marlins?
She sure was.
And then you got names like Jenny Finch and Jessica Mendoza, who are big names in U.S. Olympic softball. They're kind of spearheading this, and just to see like these girls playing on national TV, like MLB, Major League Baseball, backs them financially. Their games are being broadcast on MLB Network. I was able to watch some of it, and just to see the joy on their faces, to be like, they're living their dream. Like when we play Little League, our dream is always to make it to the professional leagues, and for me and you, Chris, it was to make it to the majors, not necessarily just professional, because professionals would have been like, I don't know, single A ball somewhere. That's professional. So they're playing top notch softball, getting paid for it, and having a blast. And I just think that it's awesome that they get to live the dream and do this. So kudos to Major League Baseball for backing this project, and I'm hoping that they have. I think, I mean, the obvious comparison is WNBA, but I think the WNBA came around about 25 years too early. Now with this push for getting eyes on women's professional sports and supporting women's professional sports, I'm thinking that this softball league could be very successful, and kind of rise above and beyond what the
Real talk, Zeke,
WNBA
if I could
has.
cut in real quick. Real talk, I've actually thought of a women's softball league before myself. I always wonder why they didn't have it. I actually think women's softball has the potential to be more successful than the WNBA, only for this reason. The WNBA is trying to be the female version of the NBA. Women's softball is not trying to be the female version of Major League Baseball. They're trying to be a softball league, and softball is a great sport to watch, right? And so it is a different sport. And since you kind of get rid of the comparisons because we kind of understand softball is a different sport, you're not looking at the game and saying like, man, they ain't dunking, man, they ain't shooting the same 3 point or field goal percentage. So I think the women's softball league actually has the potential to be, I think, a lot more popular than the WNBA, in my opinion.
I agree.
But
And as wild as it
um,
seems, and wild as this may seem, the women's softball is a faster pace than the WNBA. When you watch it, right? You don't.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not a bunch of the plays to the bases and the pitching. It's just a much faster game.
Yeah.
and I
It's
might
not.
be biased because I think most of us here like baseball is probably our favorite sport, so I might be biased. But
I mean, it's like they got. You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
watch a softball game. I'll watch a women's softball game. To me, it's fascinating as long as like you got some good players on both sides. Because like sometimes the college game can be a little bit boring because you got that dominating pitcher and nobody can hit a lick off of her. But if you ever play softball before, like that's sometimes the thing, right? Someone on the mound could just be dominating. But man, we
Like
are
Chris
way over
Sale.
time this week. I'm thinking that maybe we take those last two topics and we throw them next week because we are way over our time limit here.
I
What
had
do you
to
guys
share.
They
think?
broke the cup.
I had to share this, bro. They
Oh,
were partying so hard they cracked the cup.
bruh.
No, what?
So I just saw this and I was like, "Oh man, I know Chris is
Come
gonna get
on,
at me because
man.
we're way over." But bro, this is crazy.
Yo, like I'm not even fronting. I'm kind of pissed off right now. This is
I'm
making me
telling
mad.
you.
That's ridiculous, bro.
And,
Like the
at first,
disrespect, man.
I was looking at it and I'm like, bro, is that like one of those cigar burn marks straight through it? I'm like, nah,
They
Wow,
cracked
that's
the
this is
incredible.
Yo, they dropped that thing, man. That's ridiculous, man.
partying too hard, bro. Partying too hard.
You know what's crazy about that? Every time we hear something crazy happening in the news, the first thing I always do is I Google to see if it was in Florida. And I'll be doggone, man. The Florida Panthers
That's
just
Haters.
won the
facts.
Stanley Cup, man.
All right, guys. Well, we're way over this week, man. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't liked it already, make sure that you do that. Yeah, we'll be back next week. And yeah, we'll get into those last two topics and a lot more of what's happening in the world of sports. We appreciate you guys joining us this week. And hey, you guys be blessed, be prayed up. And we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.